Chapter 84. The Neighbor. Morning came, and the day seemed to bring a torrent of heavy rain. A storm was brewing over the humid climate of the horizon. Hyoniki flinched from his heavy sleep when he felt the cold, damp air coming through the balcony. Hyoniki suddenly sprinted toward the balcony and shut the sliding door. He suddenly looked for Riel, then he realized she was not in bed with him. He went looking for her, where he met Noemi ascending the stairs. "Where's the missus, Noemi?" The question surprised her. "I was about to knock on your door, to wake both of you, and give the missus her pill for her morning sickness," replied Noemi. "If she's not in our bedroom, where could she be?" asked Hyunki concernedly. He walked towards the annexed bedroom, and there, he found Riel asleep, only with a cushion, but no pillow or blanket. She was hugging herself, having felt the chills of the cold rain, brought by the heavy rains at dawn. Hyun felt unhappy seeing Riel lying in bed, without a blanket to wrap herself. "What made you sleep here, Riel?" he asked curiously. Her eyes were still half open and still sleepy. "I thought of moving out here, so you could sleep well. You got irritated by my vomiting last night," Riel replied softly. "What a drama queen you are. Huh? You're accusing me of getting your morning sickness into my nerves, is that it?" He seemed to cover up his embarrassment, because Noemi was there, having heard Rieler's reason. Riel felt like throwing up, and she tried to control it, but Noemi quickly came to her and held the emesis basin for her to vomit. He felt squeamish, and promptly left the room. There were nights Riel couldn't hold her nausea, making him uncomfortable, and he flinched and showed uneasiness every time Riel vomited. And in the mornings, Hyunki appeared to be hot-tempered whenever Riel gave in to her morning sickness, and he felt uncomfortable most of the time. One late night, Hyunki came home feeling weary and sleepy. He couldn't even unlock their bedroom door. "Riel, it's me, Hyunki. Please open this door." "Why do you have to lock it?" Rieler's assistant, Noemi, ran behind him and said. "I'm sorry, sir, but you could no longer be with Mrs. Riel. She moved out your things to the next room." Hyunki was bothered, then asked, "And why were my belongings moved out to the next room?" Then Hyunki heard Rieler's disembodied voice saying, "It's no use having you here. You always felt uneasy with my nausea, and even felt uncomfortable because I throw up most of the time. You better sleep in the next bedroom. That way, you won't get disturbed." He was adamant. "Will you open this door, Riel? Let us talk." "No, we have nothing else to talk about. You already said how you felt through your body language." "Leave me alone," replied Riel in annoyance. He moved drastically to the next room and made noises, throwing things in his room, mumbling, "So you don't want to talk to me, huh? If you don't want to be with me, let us see who will give in first." One sunny Saturday morning, Hyunki woke up, stretched himself, and thought of exercising, to expel the tension out from his system. He put on his jogging suit, and asked one of the maids to bring out his bicycle. He was cycling not yet far from his home, when his attention was caught by a woman carrying a big heavy box out of a truck. He stopped and observed. He saw her again, carry another heavy load inside the house, so he thought of helping. Hyunki approached the woman and said, "Need any help? A lovely woman like you should not be carrying heavy loads." He took the big box from her and carried it inside the house. The woman, amazed by Hyunki's chivalrous action, smiled at him and halted him from making another move. "Thank you, mister, but I have enough men to unload my things. I am simply helping in, so we can finish quickly." Hyunki looked at her, sizing her up from head to toe, while she was descending the loading ramp of the truck. The woman looked like she was in her 30s, gorgeous in the way she carried herself. He smiled at her, and the woman did the same. Then Hyunki left to continue his biking. After making the first round, he passed by the house where the woman moved in, and there she saw him, and waved at him. Hyunki turned back and stopped by. He got off his bike and introduced himself. "Hi, I'm Hyunki," extending his hand for a handshake. "Hello too, I'm Rosemary." Both stared at each other, smiling. Then he opened the conversation. "So, you're our new neighbor. My house was 5 houses away from here. Living alone?" he asked unassumingly. "For now. My husband and son will join me when I am settled." Hyunki was surprised. "So, you're married? And why is your husband not helping?" he asked, unbelieving. "My husband is still in the US, and my son is with my in-laws. I must finish arranging this house before he and my son come home. And it may take me weeks to fix this house, because I have a job to be concerned about too." Looking at her watch, she suddenly flinched. I'm sorry, Hyun-ki, but I have to fix myself, or I'll be late. Where are you working, by the way? Hyun-ki asked. At the K-Mall. I was in the purchasing division. By now, she quickly moved in and closed the gate. Hyun-ki smilingly waved and went on to his biking. Upon reaching home, Hyun-ki found Riel in the dining room eating alone. He patted close, slowly kissed her neck and cheeks, and hugged her tight. I'm so sorry for misbehaving. I missed you, babe, Hyun whispered. Riel pulled his hand to have him face her. Then, she held his face and looked at it longer. Then she touched his nose, eyes, and lips, then pressed her lips to his. Feeling thrilled, he pulled her up, and they kissed passionately. He carried her to their bedroom and laid her gently on the bed. They kissed more passionately, his hands going down to her tummy. He caressed Rieler's big and round baby bump, and was surprised to feel it. Then Riel felt a tiny kick, and she giggled. Hyun? I felt a small kick in my tummy. Did you feel it? Hyun-ki placed an ear on Rieler's belly and tried to listen. He smiled and felt teary-eyed for having felt Rieler's joy when she felt a slight kick in her belly. That's real, right? My baby is beginning to kick, telling us he's here for good. Oh, babe, it's real. It truly is real. Hyun felt excited that he kissed Riel again, and their romance consumed them completely. After a few hours, Riel woke up and was about to rise when Hyun held her hand. Let me touch your baby bump, so our baby would feel me too. He caressed her belly, kissed, caressed, and whistled. He whispered on her belly, saying, That's me, my child, your dad. When you hear me whistle, that's your dad. Give a kick whenever you hear my whistle. Okay, baby. Riel and Hyun giggled and laughed merrily, excited about the baby's coming. Another month came, and Rieler's belly grew larger. She was looking at her body in front of the mirror, and Hyun-ki stood by her, looking at her body. Oh my lord, your belly has grown. Are we going to have a twin? Hyun-ki deadpanned. Do you like that idea? Jested Riel. It doesn't matter if they look like their dad and mom. But do you think your belly would return to its usual form? Hyun-ki seemed to worry. Why? You think I wouldn't be sexy anymore? And then what? You wouldn't take a glimpse at my body anymore? Is that it? She felt offended, and he hugged her and then changed the subject of their conversation. You should take a leave already, Riel. The way you moved seemed to bother you, like you were carrying a boulder in your tummy. Don't you feel exasperated as you move about? Asked Hyun worriedly. I can manage, babe. It is our baby I am carrying, not a boulder, Riel deadpanned. The weather was fine that Monday morning, and Hyun-ki decided to take biking before work. While passing by Rosemary's house, he saw her watering the plants in her front yard. Hyun-ki stopped and greeted Rosemary. She was wearing very short shorts and a loose t-shirt. She moved with refinement, had a fair complexion, and had long curly hair. When he stared at her, she had this delicate face with fine features, dull-eyed, snobby nose, and plump lips. It has been a long time since you passed by here. What's up? Rosemary asked. The morning rain ceased my interest in biking, and most of the time, I must be with my pregnant wife. How about you? Any news from your husband? Hyun-ki asked curiously. Well, I haven't heard from him since I moved in here, and my in-laws wanted my son to stay with them longer, so I have to give in, since they were used to having Miko around since birth. Anyway, as soon as my husband comes home, so will my son. Could I invite you for breakfast? Hyun-ki? Rosemary offered. Sure, why not? Coffee will do, and I am still in the mood to chat with you anyway. So Hyun-ki and Rosemary brought their conversations under a cup of coffee. It was the 7th month of Rieler's pregnancy. She sometimes feels nauseous, occasionally picky, and short-tempered. One day, she felt too lazy to move about, wanting to lie in bed and sleep. Hyun-ki got worried and felt Rieler's forehead and said, Thank God. You have no fever, but are you sure you won't come to work today? Riel lazily replied, I just want to sleep more, and don't have the energy to move about. Could you let Noemi bring my breakfast here instead, babe? After a few days, at her work, Riel just came from her rest period, joking around with her friends Natalie and Patricia. As she was about to return to her desk, Riel got thrilled with a surprise that she thought would never be. What could have surprised Riel that she was so thrilled about?